Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today I've got a double helping of gameplay for you and some of my favourite tier 10 medium tanks, but today's not really going to be focused on the tier 10 medium tanks that I'm playing. It's going to be that I make an unexpected friend in the chat. Look, this Object 140 says, nice to meet you, happy face, I guess. Is that how we're going to translate :DDDDD? I guess. I press affirmative, and I tell my team at the start of this battle that I'm going to be playing rather aggressively, and I'm going to try and spot down the west. And here we go, an Object 140 Alpha T-Rex is going to be coming along with me. And yeah, I'm about to show you, well, you've probably maybe tried this dip already, but if you haven't, it's definitely an opportunity. Now, lots of people love to rush from the enemy spawn down into the area where you see the TVP on our map currently. Lots of people love to play around that rock and try and dig in and try and spot for artillery or just try and spot tank destroyers that are maybe sneaking around at the back. But you can actually do the same thing from the other side on Malinovka. Now, it's an aggressive play and you should expect resistance. The enemies, when they see you here, will quite likely know that you are isolated and they're going to come after you. However, because I'm with my friend here, Alpha T-Rex, I'm allowed to play more aggressively than I otherwise would do. I'm going to take the fight to the Object 430U. I'm going to tank 2 shots from the tier 10 Soviet medium, and I know my buddy is going to be able to finish him off. Well, I guess I didn't. I've only just met this player, but I kind of felt like, hey, let's just work together. Alright, so the Object 140 finishes off the 430U there, and you see that I'm trying to bait the shot from the WZ-1115A, and oh my word, I was trying to protect my friend's hit points with the front of my tank, expecting it to bounce. But yeah, if you ever need more evidence as to what kind of an angle a heat shell will go into the enemy tank, yeah, that's a pretty filthy bird splat on the front of my vehicle. Anyway, I take the punishment, so Alpha T-Rex doesn't, and I'm just slowly reloading right now. We're disturbing this 111.5A, stopping him from his game plan, and he's just allowing Alpha to farm him. He bounces off Alpha in front of me here, and I get to put one in, and then Alpha finishes him off before I even need to put in my second shell. I press affirmative, he presses affirmative. Oh, I just loved it. I loved this happening during the stream. So much that I actually invited Alpha to a platoon, and luckily it looks like he doesn't have his alpha request turned off. No, he doesn't have his platoon request turned off, and so we're able to get into a platoon together now. And this is just, this is just my favorite moments in World of Tanks, where you have that unexpected team play with somebody. Now, I'm not going to try and pretend like this happens all the time, because it doesn't, right? That's what, I guess, makes it so special when it does. But one thing that was also, I must mention, is that Alpha clearly probably knew me as he said hello to me at the start of the battle. So I'm not sure if somebody would try to play so aggressively, but also considerately with you if it was just in a random battle, unless you kind of, I guess, try to motivate them at the start, right? Alpha clearly knew me, and he wanted to play with me, and I guess that's just one of the perks of being the QuickyBaby. But you know what? This quite often also happens with people who don't have a clue who I am, and that's also magical as well, and that's why these Unexpected Friends videos are amongst my favorite when I do feature them on my YouTube channel. Alright, so me and Alpha have managed to take down a variety of vehicles there and also pick up some spotting against the Jagdpanzer E100. Now, one of the worst things about the Progetto 65 is that you can't just reload heat rounds without reloading the entire magazine. Now, if I'd been in any other medium tank, I would have just dabbed the 2 key and I would have been able to go after him. Now, that was a bit of a weird one. Looks like I hit the gun of the FE4005 there just before the AMX 13-105 finishes him off, and bad shot by me, although the shell did dip even though it was fully aimed, so it wouldn't have hit the T100LT anyway, even if I'd given the correct level of lead. Alright, so I'm asking Alpha now to follow me because we want to be aggressive. We want to try and push the tempo. See that T110E3 advancing across the middle of the map? He's definitely going to draw the attention of a lot of fire on the enemy team, and I'm going to try and use that. But oh my word, an unexpected T110E4. I decide to try and use momentum to be able to get around him, and I totally cock up here. If I'd kept driving forwards, I would have actually been able to get around his gun. And I'm lucky that the guy decides to fire high explosive rounds at me. Now I fire my remaining shells because I expected to die from the T100LT here, and you'll see that I actually align up. I'm trying to basically be a bodyguard here for Alpha because I just thought I was dead so much that I thought I might as well try and get into a position where I can at least provide Alpha with some cover from my wreck. But unbelievably, the T100LT doesn't shoot me. Looks like it actually shoots Alpha, or alternatively the 113 on the enemy team did there. And so I get to survive. Oh, shells blocked from our lovely new cover in the form of the wrecked T124, and it looks like Alpha's going after the 113. I don't know what I was doing right now. Maybe I was in chat. Maybe I was just absolutely ecstatic that we were having this kind of teamwork in World of Tanks. And look, Alpha's picked up 3 kills. Now, Alpha it is a player that a lot of people would shun, right, with regards to their win ratio, but I tell you what, they are living up to their name right now with some of these plays. So maybe it's just the confidence. Maybe it's just the confidence there. Now, one thing I did notice, and I talked about this in the post-game stats at the time, is that Alpha's WN8 is very much higher than his win ratio. So that would suggest one of 2 things. Number one, they play too defensively. They try and sit at the back of the map a little bit too much. They're not willing to go at their opponents. And that can quite often lead to doing a lot of damage, but just not having that impact in the game to be able to win it. And quite often that damage will come at the end when the game is already lost and you're just farming the zombies that are advancing towards you, which is one of the best ways to either pad your WN8 or to just take your marks of excellence to the next level. However, Alpha, as you can see here, when he's been encouraged, I asked him to go forwards, really starting to pick up some momentum. And you're going to be able to see that in the second game as well. Alright, so from here on in, it's really just a cleanup. We've completely annihilated the enemy team here. 3,200 damage and 1,600 spotting is not bad for 6 minutes of action, but I'm pretty sure Alpha has been able to achieve just as much here. So right now, what do I want to do? I want to just track the T125. I pull back behind the bush, of course, to not allow him to spot me as I shoot through the bush, and I'm trying to find 2 kills as quickly as I possibly can to be able to pick up Alpha or Brothers in Arms, but it doesn't come because that T124 in my cap circle seems to be a bit of a pacifist and decides to cap out, or maybe he was trying to do a mission or something. I'm not sure. This was from the previous patch before Wargaming's new mission siege system. Nevertheless, a great result and just a fun battle. I enjoyed this one so much that I told Alpha, you can pick whatever tank you want and let's play one more battle. And Alpha T-Rex certainly trolled me with the opportunity that I gave him, ladies and gents, because yeah, he picked a tank that I don't have, the M60, and so I had to match him in my most played tank of all time, the M48A1 pattern. I have to admit, feeling a little bit jealous about the reward vehicle there, but the differences between the M60 and the M48, pretty much he kind of foregoes a bit of armor to be able to gain premium pen, some gun handling, I believe, and also a little bit of mobility. But the M48, the slower, heavier tank, more of a heavy medium rather than the medium that the M60 tries to be. Alright, so we're playing here on Ensk, and we're in a mid-tier matchup against tier 9s and tier 10s. What do I want to do on Ensk if I'm in a platoon? I want to be aggressive. I felt like we had to try and dominate the East, and because we've got so many support tanks going out there, lots of tier 9 mediums, even a tier 10 light tank all the way out towards the East, we're going to have to get stuck in and hopefully try and win this before I believe the Type 5 heavy on the enemy team and maybe some of their faster heavy supports are going to be able to crunch through the town. Alright, we hear the tier 9 Chinese tank destroyer fire, and that is our opportunity to swarm, and this is what's brilliant about playing in those high tier platoons, or even any platoons of medium tanks, that once you get an opportunity, you can really take it to the enemy team. Oh, I don't like the look of that tier 9 self-propelled gun though, and so I'm going to try and blind fire, well not blind fire, I'm going to try and shoot him through the wall here. I don't think I managed to hit him. And is the artillery going to try and gun for me? Well, I'm actually using this building a little bit to try and avoid the shell. Thinking about it, I'd shoot through the wall there. We're going to have to see if that one hit in the post-game stats, or at least when the artillery appears. Now, did we hit that artillery blind? Whoa, down to about the right number of hit points. I either hit him or somebody else did. I'm not even going to bother to use my medkit here because I felt like there's another artillery in the game that we have to be careful about. Plus, I might lose a crew member and then not have it for the next 90 seconds, which is an absolute disaster, right? Anyway, we crunch through the east flank. Now we're going to try and turn our attention to trying to mop up the enemy team before they try and take our base. And in these kind of scenarios, it's kind of a race to advance through the flank. It's flank versus flank, right? We've won the east. They've won the west. Now we need to take the opportunity that our medium tanks give us here to really put the pressure up on the enemy team and try and clean up as much as we can, because it's even here with 3 kills apiece. Alright, nice one there into the back of the T100LT, albeit a little bit of a low roll, so the T100LT is going to escape to probably be able to kill our artillery, which is a bit of a shame. I want to try and advance here, but this Leopard prototype is really slowing me down. I'm trying to get around him. I don't want to push the Leopard prototype here, so I just try and sneak on past. I don't think the Leopard prototype realizes that how crucial this stage of the game is. The enemy are advancing towards our base. They will undoubtedly clean up all the forces towards the south. What you have to do in these scenarios is be as aggressive as hell. If you have the hit points, you need to get stuck in. If you're not firing constantly, then you're doing something wrong in these scenarios. Now, I'm not saying go in and throw away all of your hit points, but you have to be aggressive indeed. All right, so Alpha swinging up round. Is he going to be able to finish off the M60? Yeah, he does, on the move like a boss, and now turns his attention towards the tier 9 Swedish tank destroyer. I'm going to use my repair kit here. Alpha takes a shot from the Bat Chatillon 25T. I put one into the Stridsvagn 1030 there, aim at the French medium tank, and I ram kill the Stridsvagn 1030 while aiming at the Batchat to be able to put a round off. Literally just trying to maximize the amount that we can have here, so we just try and get through as quickly as we can. Because it's still fairly even, we're only ahead by 2 kills, and there's still a tier 10 heavy and a tier 10 self-propelled gun on the enemy team, as well as a good variety of support tier 9s there that we're going to have to deal with, and they're in our base. So what do we have to do? We have to try and press through there as aggressively as possible, but the heavies have actually situated themselves in the middle of the map, so this is going to be rather awkward. Oh, great shot there into the 111-14 as the object 261 also enters the cap circle. I'm not going to be able to shoot them, so instead I'm going to turn my attention towards a tier 9 French heavy tank. Now, I see Alpha is on his way. A little bit behind me, but he is on substantially less hit points than I am, so I need to be at the front. I need to be trying to tank the enemy team and try and push it. I'm thinking about going towards the cap circle, but you can't really leave a Type 5 heavy out in the open. That thing is going to be able to one-shot you. Luckily, seems like it hits the wall and not me. All right, now the second vehicle enters the cap circle. Well, it's been in there for actually about 10 or 20 seconds so far, so we're going to have to try and advance as quickly as we can. Don't have time to mess around with that 430U. And oh, an absolute disaster. The 111-14 manages to track us in our place, and now we see the game slipping away. I'm going to have to just ignore the 430U as he cleans up all of my team. 8 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. It was an interrupt. Alpha saves the game, putting a round into the back of the tier 10 Soviet tank, self-propelled gun, and now I'm trying to block the shell. Oh, I go out into third person there to try and make sure I align myself up in front of Alpha so he doesn't have to die here, because I wanted that Brothers in Arms medal. And if anybody deserved to survive this battle, it was Alpha. He picked up 4 kills here, interrupted the cap, won the game. Well, hasn't won the game quite yet because I have to win a 1 versus 1, albeit with a lower tier medium tank, and I'm just sad there that I couldn't take a shot for Alpha and keep him in it because he definitely deserved to be. Alright, that's a really awkward spot there. I was trying to plan to hunt the 430, however, an awkward glimpse at my vehicle knows which way I'm going to be coming from, so instead I'm going to have to just try and go all in right now. I'm loading some heat to go through the front of his tank, and I fire at his tracks like a donkey, but looks like the 430 bounces an APCR round off the front of us as well. All we have to do is penetrate 2 shots. 1 sets him on fire. I give him a salute because I thought he'd be burning to death. That was a bit cheeky, but I was just having an absolute whale of a time. Kind of showing off a little bit here to my newfound buddy as we do pick up 4 kills apiece. So 2 great rounds here with Alpha. Firstly, playing in his Object 140 where he finishes on top of experience due to that 1,500 spotting he picked up. Next up on Ensk, this was a little bit of a better one for me, but that was only because Alpha interrupted the cap circle, getting 100 base defense points, literally leaving it to the last possible second, that enabled me to go on and pick up a few kills. So Alpha T-Rex, I must give you a big thank you. This was possibly some of the most fun I've had, just in one of those fantastic, unexpected friends moments in World of Tanks in absolutely ages. Thanks for playing along with me, and just the camaraderie and the synergy that we developed in those 2 battles almost instantly was really awesome. And as I said during the stream, if I might be so bold, you're an awesome player, dude. I think you might be playing a little bit too passively on the rear line, and it looks like when you get stuck in, when you've got the confidence to do so, maybe because you could depend on me, you absolutely nailed these games. But what I'd like to say is you don't have to have me there to go for it. Sure, it's not going to work out every time, and these were 2 awesome examples where we had 2 very exciting games. But you're a great player. Believe in yourself. get forwards, stick it to the enemy team. You've shown you can clearly outplay players individually, and I can't see you having 49% wins for very long. And hopefully this video was useful to all of you out there who are wondering, how can I try and communicate as effectively and quickly as possible with players inside the game? I'm not trying to suggest that it's going to work for every time. Quite a lot of the time, the player's probably going to tell you to sod off and just continue to camp, but I think that just makes it all the more rewarding when it actually does work out. Anyway, that's it for today, ladies and gents. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. But if you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And let me know in the comments if your soul has completely given up on the hope of any kind of teamwork in World of Tanks. And do you have any tips and tricks for players out there who are maybe trying to look into improving their platoon play, or alternatively, just work with players better in the battle? And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.